Yeah, right now, right here is going down tonight. Hey, we gonna shake up the world. This time, this place, you know we're keeping it tight. Hey, we gonna shake up the world. Right now, right here is going down tonight. Hey, we gonna shake up the world. This time, this place, you know we're keeping it tight. Baby, we gonna shake up the world. When we step up on the scene, you know it's quite clear. Nobody else can hold it down up in here.
7 days to die. Now, I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube, and I see a lot of people having trouble surviving the first night. So, I've done something which I normally don't do because it makes me look arrogant, which obviously I am, but I don't want to, be obvious about it. But I am going to record an entire video of 30 minutes showing how you can survive the first night, and it's foolproof. This cannot go wrong. So, starting here, just loot whatever. Oh, something to shoot at. Boom! I actually have hunted deer in real life. I was in Sweden at one point, and we saw no roe deer, which was what we were trying to hunt. We did see a lot of moose, but apparently if you shoot moose in Sweden without a permit, you're going to jail and all sorts of stuff, so don't do that. Anyway, that's some free advice on top of how to play 7 days. You gotta get, I was lucky I found a shotgun. On that, you go and whack a tree, because you need some wood very quickly. So get some wood, and if you're not lucky enough to find a gun like I was, you just make a wooden club right quickly. So get about 20 trunks, so you can create some wood planks and some plywood and some sticks, because you're gonna need that very soon. You will need the sticks for ladders, you'll need the plywood for storage chests, the planks for defense, and I showed just before where I spawned in the northwest corner, which is probably the easiest place to spawn, and this was not on purpose, I promise you that, it wasn't actually on purpose, but this is the easiest place because you run straight up into some office buildings, and in these office buildings there is a crap ton of metal. And by metal, of course, I mean scrap metal, which you can shape into ingots and so on. So, pay attention to how I craft and when I craft. I don't do it very much. I try only to do what's necessary. But anyway, let's get up to these office buildings. My aim will be to find some cloth, because I need to do a sleeping bag. In the kitchens, I want to find a little bit of food, a little bit of water, but the most important thing is the same as I'm doing here. I'm picking up blueberries, because out of blueberries you can make blueberry seeds, and I hope that in the kitchen I will find some potato seeds as well, because once you have seeds and a garden hoe and some water, you can survive indefinitely. Right, that's it. You've won. Right? As long as you don't die, you've won. I empty out the cars here. I'll be real quick about it. Normally, I might stay the first night in one of these buildings, but I'm going to prove the point. So, just listen very carefully now. The objective of the first day is as follows. The overall objective is to build a base that will see you through the night. A base where zombies won't immediately get in, and even if they do, they'll defend a little bit. It doesn't have to be overly elaborate the first night, they're not really dangerous. You do need to put down a secondary respawn point as soon as possible, which is why I'm going to start collecting some cloth. You need wood planks, plywood, sticks. You need a pickaxe, you need about 10 scrap metal and 4 to 10 dirt. You need some seeds, corn, potato or blueberry in that order, because out of corn you can make cornmeal, which is far more nutritious than eating raw potatoes, and by the way, eating raw potatoes is downright just disgusting. So I'm just going to quickly loot this floor here, and then I'm going to go upstairs and loot the floor there. As I said, I could have stayed in this building. I've already boarded up the wooden stairway, so the zombies won't get up here the first night anyway. I could just keep boarding it up and all sorts of stuff, but I'm not going to do that, because I want to prove the point that you can survive anywhere. Now, I'm lucky having spawned here. I've found already some potato seeds, brilliant. I found some paper as well. I'm going to get back to that in a second, but I'm going to actually do a little bit of a run to get some yucca fibers, because with yucca fibers, paper, potassium nitrate and coal, you can create what? TNT. Oh, bazooka. Nice. Books. Paper. Oh, bazooka. Nice. Oh yeah, I forgot. You need paper to do TNT, obviously. plywood, get some sticks, then we can do ladders, and we've got pickaxe. Don't actually know why I'm creating an ironing board at this point. Maybe it's just the point of it. Trash cans, the small ones, the big ones, I always just obliterate because you get a scrap metal, and as you obliterate it, whatever content it has always goes out the floor, which is kind of nice. Oh, there's the upstairs. I mentioned earlier that it was important to put down a secondary respawn point, so I'm just going to do that. Put the sleeping bag right quick. I've got the cloth. I'm going to go downstairs in a second and get some more cloth, because all of the curtains you actually can turn into cloth. So there you go. If I happen to die, the zombies will never ever be able to get up here, which is great, and I've got a safe base to respawn, and there's still lots of loot in the building, so no worries. Though, I must say, I have only once actually died to zombies. They are so weak, and I find that this game is actually too easy. Zombies, I mean, they're slow, and I don't know what you need to do to get killed by them. I got hit it with a headshot during a lag spike or something, which is, you know, just unlucky. Anyway, here we go. One of the objectives was get a pickaxe. Now, the pickaxe is what allows you to do the one thing you need to do, which is build a safe base. The thing is, zombies, as they currently are very poor at digging. They can sort of dig through some dirt, but not really stuff. They do it, and they do it eventually, and they will get down to you, but if you dig down about 20 levels, there's no way they're ever going to get down to you. And even if they do, so what you put hopefully enough light up that, like the trash can, get some scrap metal. Especially at the beginning, getting scrap metal is critical. See these railings here? One hit, one scrap metal. Very important. If you actually look inside the buildings, you will see there's some metal shelving in there as well. You can get a lot of metal out of that if you feel you need it. That's wood, no good. Those plants I really like, and if I can bother, I'd take them. You know, whenever I want to create a nice home, I actually take those plants. But those shells, you can hit them. I think they take 5-7 hits, and you get 2 to 5 scrap metal out of each, so there's lots and lots and lots of metal in here. You see where the mouse pointer is at the moment? Those houses have yucca fibers around them, so I'm just going to run over there, pick up some yucca fibers, and then I'm going to start digging. But I'll speed up the video now just to not bore you to death. Okay, so I found a place where I want to build my first base. It's close to water, it's close to those houses which I haven't looted yet, where there's lots of stuff in there. There's weapons and books and paper. So what I'm going to do is just, normally I take a shovel and dig through the dirt here, but I can't be bothered. But picking up the dirt is very important because you're going to need it later to plant those potato seeds. So I'm going to speed it up again, but you know, I'll just be digging and I'll be creating a very rudimentary base. One of the first things I'll do is, of course, to put down some storage chests because my inventory is full and I need to get rid of some of that. Okay, so we now have something that is relatively safe down there. I'll just build a small wall, about 3 high, around this. I don't think I have enough stone, so I'll probably need to use some wood as well. But anyway, just to keep the zombies out this night, and I'll surround it with torches so that they won't have too much speed and they won't be too strong and all of that. And that really is it. Once I've surrounded myself with this, I can use that as my main protection. I can go downstairs and I can start digging, you know. And that will basically be it. So I'll speed it up again, and yeah, hopefully that's alright with you guys. So, as you can see, I now have some potatoes, some blueberries. The one thing I do want now is water. If you put seeds into the ground and make them grow within 3 squares of water, it is perpetual, meaning you don't have to re-sow them after having harvested them. What most of you may not know is, even though it's dark outside, if you have enough water and you sprint, you can still outrun the zombies. So you just saw me making a bucket there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to run to the river. Now, I conveniently placed my house next to the river. That was no coincidence. So in between the river and the houses with all the loot in, and on top of a hill, just for aesthetics, I guess. But that was no coincidence. And as I'm running, I'll put down some torches just because I'm paranoid, you know. And you may have noticed how I make sure that as much as possible I only have the necessary things in my inventory, my belt here, because of course when you die, everything you have in your belt drops on the ground, whereas what you have in your inventory stays in your inventory. So for example, carrying the water bucket in my inventory is something like a moose, kill, or elk. I think it's an elk. Anyway, tell me in the comments if I'm right or wrong. But I don't normally carry the water bucket in my belt because there's quite a lot of iron gone into that. So what I'll do is I'll place some water next to both of the areas where I'm growing crops, and that water will make my crops perpetual. And the only thing I don't have at this point is sand, because with sand you can create glass jars, and once you have glass jars you can get as much water as you want. And that's it. You are self-sustainable perpetually. And we're done. So I'll end the video here because I can just go down to the beach, dig up some sand. Using sand and iron ingots I can create the glass jars, and that'll be the end of it. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Maybe you've learnt something. Tell me if you have, tell me if you haven't, tell me if it's a good video or a bad video, tell me if you want more or less or whatever. You'll probably notice that the place I'm building here is close to where I built Carnarvon Castle, so make sure you check out all the videos I have of big beautiful buildings, because there's much more of a challenge in that than there is in just surviving the first night. So, hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, stay frosty.